What is up? It is Isaac of the Dead back with another video. Sorry for not making more videos lately. I was thinking about, coming on here and catching up on some of the episodes that I was behind on with things like The Penguin, Agatha All Along. I think I'm going to get Daryl Dixon in a separate video just to boost the algorithm a little bit, make more content for my channel. But yeah, I just want to apologize to all of my loyal followers, loyal fans who are watching these videos and supporting me. The last week or so, between school and work and whatever else that I'm doing, I was finishing my album, so I didn't have much time to get to the rest of these shows, these reviews. So let's talk about The Penguin and let's talk about Agatha Harkness and how Penguin, spoilers in this video by the way, Penguin has somehow, and congratulations to DC for this, managed to snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. Because after they had completely flopped with Joker 2, you'd think that, wow, Penguin would have no chance of succeeding. And when you compare the shows of Penguin and Agatha Harkness being perspective shows of the villain, rather than, the hero in a traditional sense, both shows nobody asked for, and only one of them came out on top here. And the episode Red Sky, I believe, is episode 3 of The Penguin. That was probably the show that sold me on the character of Victor, who is Penguin's side hand, basically, right? So it shows him as a human character, living in Gotham. And we see the end of the Batman and how it affects his life, which was the craziest part, was like seeing the how the flood and like how the explosion of the movie and the Batman affect this kid's life, and then how his journey affects Oz in the show. So there's a lot of power plays, a lot of Falcone, Maroni like power plays going on. That's one of the best parts of the show. It's got character work. It's got this power play stuff that you see in like Game of Thrones. I don't want to really go into full spoilers with Penguin because honestly, it's a show I feel like it's worth watching. So I'm not going to spoil it too much because I think it's worth watching. Plus I'm behind and I want to this video is to try and get things caught up for the most part without taking too long. So I'm trying to be efficient and effective here basically, right? So and do it in an efficient time period. So, because I don't have time for everything right now. Hopefully I'll get back into the scheme of things. But yeah, I'm trying to manage my time. So that I believe it's called Red Sky because it was based on that was the title of the episode. Red Sky was the operation that Penguin and the Falcone. Oh crap! Why did I forget her name? The Falcone or Falcone. Isabella, I believe, Falcone. Crap, I'm gonna forget her name now. It'll come back to me. But she is surprisingly one of the better characters in the show. Because she's it's gonna drive me crazy now. It's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna interrupt this video to look it up because it's gonna drive me nuts. Don't you worry, fam. I got this. Hold on. One second. If I was live streaming, this would be better, but I'm not live streaming, so I'm interrupting my own video just to do this. Sophia. That's who it was. Sophia. Holy shit. I don't know why I couldn't just do that. So, Sophia Falcone is one of the better characters in this show. And you see that she's got these inner demons, right? And you can see that she's trying to hold it in. And we get in the next episode, episode 4, we get halfway through the season, right? Because I believe there's 8 episodes. We get halfway through the season, and that episode 4 is more focused on Sophia and her time in Arkham and her time prior to the events of the show, which I thought that episode was far better than Victor's episode. Not because Victor's episode was terrible. It's just that in comparison, there was more interesting stuff going on. But it's not to say that Victor's episode was terrible or anything, right? Because Victor's episode was very interesting. and it sold me on his character. He has a lot of heart as a character, and you can't. I don't want to do a disservice by spoiling it, right? There's also a matter of fact that a lot's been happening, and I probably don't remember all the elements that I want to talk about in the show. All I can say is, yeah, I really liked it, and I hope everybody checks it out if they have the time. If they have Max, that's worth watching, you know? As for, the episode was called, like, Red Sky or something because it was Sophia and Oswald's, their plan was to hijack the Falcone and Maroney crime families to distribute a new kind of drug that was red that was fed to the inmates at Arkham Asylum. And it's a really trippy, it's like fentanyl basically, right? I think the majority of that episode was Oz and Sophia trying to talk one of the like Japanese or Chinese mafia. No, it was a triad. They're trying to talk a Chinese triad into distributing the Red Sky, I think is what it was called. I could totally be wrong if that was the name of it. But they were trying to distribute that. The Maronis found out at the end of the episode, and it was funny because Oz was promising Sophia, hey, I'm not going to leave you behind this time. And then when Victor is about to decide whether or not he's going to stay with Penguin or go be with his girlfriend, because that was the whole point of that episode, was it was a will he, won't he scenario. Will he leave Penguin to be with his girlfriend, or will he join Penguin to be more benefiting for himself, basically, right? And so he saves Penguin, but ends up throwing Sophia under the bus when they are attacked by the Maronis. And so when Penguin gets picked up, Victor's like, should we get Sophia? And he's like, nah, fuck it, leave her. And so I don't know what's so funny about that, but it just reminds you that these are not good people. These are the villains. But it's so crazy to see that blurred line of how well this is written, how well this is executed, because that blurred line shows that even though these are terrible people, they are still humans. They still have hearts. They still have souls. And it's brilliant to see that with the Penguin. And so episode 4, which is all about Sophia, shows Mark Strong was kind of weird, but I didn't mind it as a Carmine Falcone. And Sophia finds out that Carmine is behind a lot of murders of women, women of the night, basically. And it's around this giant conspiracy that he tries to cover up. And it gets so deep that when Sophia finds out about her father's, abuses, she ends up getting victimized by it and blamed for it. So she finds out that this is what happened to her mother, and Carmine gets her sentenced to Arkham and frames all the murders on her, to where she has to spend 10 years in Arkham and survive and be tortured in Arkham. That whole sequence was really traumatizing, and it was well done. Well done. That whole episode was very, very well done, and it gave me faith that this show can still pull off the impossible and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, where things like Joker would fail with the sequel, right? Somehow, and I'm not saying it's going to stick the landing just yet, because I have yet to see the other episodes that have yet to come out, basically, right? But same with the Batman. The first hour and a half, 2 hours of the Batman were phenomenal. In 2022's Batman, the Matt Reeves one that I'm talking about. The last hour kind of crumbles, right, with that movie. That's what I'm really concerned about with the Penguin. But other than that, so far it's brilliant. It's very well done. It's reminding me of a show from a better time, from the peak television era of the 2000s and the early 2010s. It's classic HBO, and so I can highly recommend the Penguin. I can't compliment it enough for now. For now, because we don't know where it's going to lead. And if it's even going to last very long, given the direction that DC is going, right? Now, that's far better compliments than I can give to the Penguin than I can to Agatha all along. Now, you've seen my review a couple days ago for episode 6, but I skipped the review for episode 5. I'm not going to lie, the reason I did that is, I mean, besides scheduling, there was fucking nothing in that episode. Like nothing. Like a literal bag of fucking nothing. I hardly say that about anything with this show. Like, it's hard to say that, like, episode 2, for example, or episode 3, like, they had fucking nothing in those episodes too, but, like, goddamn, bro. Like, how is it that you can have episode 5, you know, getting halfway through this series of Agatha All Along. Your lights are dimmer than the long night in Game of Thrones. I couldn't see anything in this episode. We have literal flying witches, like stereotypically, played off as kind of like this weird Harry Potter joke. Maybe I misinterpreted it. Agatha gets possessed in this repetitive manner of like, oh, we're going to the next house, to the next place, to do the next thing. It's a fucking fetch quest. It's so boring. And all we get really that's interesting is a hint at a lesbian romance between Aubrey Plaza and Rio, right? Rio and Agatha. And I think it tells you about her story with sacrificing her own son, Nicholas Scratch, and how she stole powers from her coven during the Salem witch trials. All of it just, like, it feels like it could be handled better if it was not done by Disney or the current heads at Marvel. I feel like all this show does for me is it reminds me of Charmed. It reminds me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, American Horror Story. Better shows that I would rather spend my time watching than watching this garbage, right? I'm sure it appeals to somebody. I'm not saying that it's like god-awful, terrible dog shit. It's just that it doesn't appeal to me and it really doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't achieve any goals. It's a show meant to waste time. It's meant to waste time and money. I don't get the point of it, right? What's the point? I guess the point at the end of the day is probably to bring back Wanda, Wanda Maximoff. But you could achieve that by not doing this, by not wasting everybody's time. And I've said before, I was going to watch this show, I was going to review it anyway, whether it was good or bad, right? That's what happened with the Penguin. So, where the Penguin succeeds and where Agatha fails, as Penguin talks about, it's got characters you're invested in. It has works of, character development. You have a story, you have a plot, you have a goal in mind of a story you want to tell with the Penguin. Agatha Harkness, Agatha All Along, doesn't have a plot. It doesn't have a goal. It doesn't do anything. And hardly enough, like, if it's a character study on Agatha Harkness, we need to understand who Agatha Harkness is before we can understand what her story is, before her background, her character study. We don't really know anything about anybody in this show, other than, I guess, superficial things that we learned from WandaVision, right? And so, episode 5 was the big reveal that the teen was Billy Maximoff. Go back and watch all my other videos when I called that shit, like, in episode 1. Like, upon appearance, I was like, that's Billy Maximoff. Easy. Like, nothing in this show, like, or at least in this episode 5, it is appealing. I don't know who this is for. I assume lesbians and wine moms, but I feel like that's doing them a disservice too, because this show is boring. It's nothing. Like, I can't even be mad at it because it's just nothing, right? As compared to the Penguin. Oh, now we're having a contest here. So, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section if you like this video. Show me what you guys think about the Penguin, what you think about Agatha All Along. Because those are my takes on it. The Penguin succeeds where Agatha fails because the Penguin focuses on characters, focuses on plot, and Agatha doesn't focus on anything but appealing to SNL comedy skits at best. So, like, share, comment, subscribe. I got a new album coming out very soon, and I got more videos on the way. So I will see y'all very soon. Don't smoke crack. Yup. Peace out.